Hi there, and welcome to today's vlog. It's interesting how things work out, isn't it? Some people say or believe that the Bible is out of date, it's old-fashioned. In fact, I was in a Zoom synod on Saturday talking about a particular important issue that the Methodist Church is wrestling with, and there were some there who were saying that yes, the Bible says such and such, but it's of its time. It's not relevant to us today. Things have changed. We've moved on. Some people say, yeah, I like the New Testament, or I read it. I think it's important. It speaks of Jesus, but the Old Testament, I can't get away with that. I can't really grasp that. I don't think it's relevant anymore. A few weeks ago, I was asked to take a service at one of our local churches, Methodist churches here in Doncaster, or at least preach. So I recorded my sermon or my talk on Zoom, and it was used as part of their service a couple of weeks ago. And this particular church do sermon series where they're preaching on through a particular Bible book of the Bible, or on a theme. And so when you agree to preach, you're given the passage on which you are to share a message. And they've been preaching recently, or in the series, looking at the Old Testament book of Habakkuk. And Habakkuk's one of what's called the minor prophets, the smaller prophets, only 3 chapters long. I would encourage you to read it. So I preached on this particular passage from the 2nd chapter of Habakkuk. And in order to do so, I did a bit of research, reminding myself of who Habakkuk was and his context. And then last Sunday, I was asked to lead a Zoom service for one of my previous churches in Sheffield, Wesley Hall, which I was delighted to do. And it was great to see some familiar faces and some new faces. Great. I had a great time of fellowship with them. And because I'd been so touched by the message of Habakkuk and seen how relevant this book that was written in around the 7th century BC, and yet today it speaks so clearly, it's so relevant to our lives in 2021. It's amazing, isn't it, how this wonderful book, all these different authors and 66 books in the one book of the Bible, written over centuries, and yet it has a wholeness about it, and it speaks today. The Bible speaks today. So I thought that over today and next 4 vlogs that I do, I'll pick out the 5 points that I briefly touched on in my service for our Sheffield church, former Sheffield church, because I picked out from Habakkuk, and there are probably certainly others that you could pick up, 5, I call them 5 pegs to hang your thoughts on when we're thinking about the book of Habakkuk. And hopefully, as I share these 5 thoughts, that you'll see how relevant, if you don't already understand it. In fact, there was one person at the service on Sunday I think she's a preacher. She said, I've never really read the book of Habakkuk. It's worth reading. So Habakkuk is writing at a time, when there was that great Assyrian Empire, which is now fading away, and a new superpower, you might call them, was coming to the fore. The Babylonians, who were a fierce and a violent group of people. We'll think more about them as we go through. So the first peg, if you like, that I want you to think about hanging your thoughts on, is this: that God is okay with our questions. If we have questions for God, God is happy that we bring them to him. The book begins with Habakkuk looking around his society, and he's in despair, he's in despondency. Why? Because he sees there injustice, violence, lawlessness, misery, so many things that are bad that make him sad. And it seems to him, as he looks around, that the wicked people are prospering, they're doing well, whereas the righteous people, the people who seek to live godly lives, so often they're the ones who suffer. And he sees this as completely unfair. And he asks the question, why isn't God doing anything about what is going on? I can see it. Why can't God see it? Why doesn't God do something about it? In fact, that's just reminded me, I may have mentioned this a few vlogs ago, of a conversation that Nicky Gumbel, Vicar of Holy Trinity Brompton, had with his predecessor, Sandy Miller. And Sandy Miller said that somebody had said to him, why don't you ask God why the world is in such a mess? And Sandy Miller's response was, well, what if God asks us that question? That's thought-provoking, isn't it? Maybe we've got a lot to do with the mess that we're in. Anyway, Habakkuk is confused, he's angry, he's despairing, and he cries out, how long, O Lord, must I call for help and you do not listen? I wonder if you've ever asked that kind of question. Maybe you've been praying about an issue. Maybe you're going through a time of ill health, or some other issue that's on your mind or in your life. Maybe a loved one is going through a troubled time. Maybe you're concerned about something that's happening in society or in the world, and you cry out to God, and God doesn't seem to be listening. God doesn't seem to be answering. And you wonder, has God heard my prayer? Why isn't God doing something about it? And maybe in our time today, in our society, with this ongoing lockdown, we've been in this situation nearly a year now, since the first lockdown. And although there are some signs of hope around us, still it's a tough time for many of us. There's issues of loneliness, there's anxiety about job situation, about finances, all sorts of issues that can assail us. Maybe we're feeling almost at the end of our tether. We wonder, where can we go? What's going on? So Habakkuk has questions for God. We might call them enquiring prayer. We come to God and we bring him our questions. And so that reminds us that God is okay with our questions. God wants us to be honest with him. Remember, Jesus on the cross cried out, my God, why have you forsaken me? So even Jesus brought this question to God the Father. God wants us to be honest with him. Yes, to bring him our questions, to share what's on our hearts. He is the God who loves us. And although God doesn't promise to answer us immediately, he doesn't promise even to answer in the way that we hope or expect. But God will answer, as we shall see. So if you've got questions, if you're struggling with life, share them with God. Be open to God. Don't be afraid. Be honest with him. So there's the first peg from the book of Habakkuk. God is okay with our questions. Next time we'll go on to the next issue. It's a great book. I would encourage you to read it. Only 3 chapters. Won't take very long to read. God bless you, and thank you so much for listening today.